if we refer ourselves to the upload schedule.
Podcast number 7.
All right, this is good. Okay, we're back. Welcome everybody to, as we just said, the 7th podcast.
Podcast number 7.
The twin cast, the podcast with myself and with Gub. This is is it the 13th? 12th?
13th.
13th? 1,
13th.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,
It's
11,
13th.
12th.
Oh,
12th.
I thought you meant the 13th of May.
No, 12th podcast. 12th podcast.
Oh.
13th of May. We're recording this in the morning.
In the morning, feeling good.
8:30 a.m. and you still have a few weeks worth of hats left.
Yeah.
I suppose actually I should say the story. Do you know where this hat came from?
Well, it says Movember
Yes.
on it.
Yes, the Movember Foundation sent it to me when I did a charity live stream for them 2 years ago, maybe 3, 2 or 3, in
Yeah.
November of 17 or 18, one of the two. And they sent it to me. I also got a few little pin badges.
Yeah.
But
They're like mustaches.
yeah, that little mustache and all that. And
Back in that dark time when people used mustaches as decoration everywhere, people had like those massive light up ones. They were on cushions.
yeah.
Do you remember that? That was a weird.
I had
time.
a T-shirt as well. They sent me that said there's a mustache and it says "Let it grow" on it.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was a Frozen thing or just another thing. But first of all, big shout out to all of you for all the support on the podcast. I said it last time. I'll say it this time. Each one, it seems there's more people tuning in, enjoying it, and coming back.
Yeah.
And everything like that. I'm sure the title attracted a few people last time. Disgusting food combinations. That's pretty. But this one, the title for this one, as alluded to in the previous episode, Unpopular Opinions.
Yeah.
So this is going to be interesting. And you've come up with a little list.
Yeah.
I've got a couple in my head, but I read this article that is on my phone, and a lot of them mirrored what I sort of think. So we're going to start with yours,
Okay.
because you've come up with a list, and then we're going to go through some more and just have a chat about it. Any unpopular opinions you guys have, leave it down in the comments. You may agree with some of these, because obviously an unpopular opinion, there's still going to be millions of people that agree with it.
Yeah.
It just depends where you're at. So let's start.
Oh, I just thought of another one actually.
Go for it. I mean, what was the one that just came to mind? What was it?
Communism's not that bad. Okay, hear me out.
Communism's not that bad.
I like the idea of communism. Like on
Okay.
paper,
Okay.
it's actually a really banging idea.
Okay.
Like the problem is that every time we talk about communism, we talk about the times that it fails
Yeah.
because it's never succeeded and it never will. But if it succeeded, it would actually be like the best thing.
Is North Korea communist?
No,
No, it's not.
no, it's totalitarian.
Yeah,
which is
okay.
kind of
Yeah.
things. If things start communist, they kind of always end up that way
Yeah.
because someone ends up taking the lead.
Because everyone's the same, and then someone doesn't want
Everyone's
to be
the
the
same,
same
but you
anymore.
can't be the same because then, because we like having someone to blame. If something goes wrong, I like being able to be like, that damn Boris, it's his fault, you know? Or like if something goes wrong, I like to be able to blame someone. And people
Yeah.
don't like to take responsibility either for themselves or even for the joint effort.
Yeah.
And like, to be honest, I have come across so many
Right.
interesting people that it's made me realize that communism is
I think
a sad dream of the
unpopular
past.
opinion that just came to my mind after what you said. So at the time of recording, Boris addressed the nation 12 hours ago. And he basically sort of said his plan. And the only thing really that he said is that the way in which people have been, up until this point, breaking the lockdown rules are now allowed. So nothing's actually changed because people were doing it anyway.
I mean, yeah, technically, I was talking about it this morning. I was reading a thing, and it said that actually, so you can now meet people outside your household as long as you don't go within 2 meters of them.
Yeah, they just didn't say that.
And you can also, obviously, you can exercise more than once a day. Hallelujah.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, it's good for you.
I have foregone my run. I've broken my 10
10
kilometers every day streak to do some work today. But unpopular opinion, every single time Boris opens his mouth, people hate on him, whatever, okay. At the same time, this is all being said with hindsight. I know things could have been done differently. What do people want?
Well, Boris Johnson missed the first 5 Cobra meetings in a row this year.
Okay.
So, and then
Cool.
chose to go on holiday in the middle of it.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Actually, I think there's a lot.
You
of
can
Boris
hate
going on.
Boris Johnson, that's fine, whatever. But at the same time, given the situation we're in, what did people want him
Yeah.
to say? I was upset that it seems like we're going to be in lockdown for a bit longer than we thought.
Yeah.
But at the same time, what did people want him to say?
I admit, Boris can't just kill the virus. Like, Boris is not to blame for the virus.
No.
So, I do feel for him, and I think he is doing a better job than Theresa May would have done. As much as in a way,
Yeah.
I kind of enjoyed her because she was so awkward.
Although obviously the whole thing was painfully scripted, he was reading a prompt and all that. I don't know. And I'm seeing posts like saying, if you vote for Tory, stop clapping every week, blah, blah. I would say, can you just separate that for a second? We're clapping for... not that I voted Tory. I didn't vote at all because just logistically my address was elsewhere, so I couldn't make it to the polling station. But the thing is, with all of that, you can clap for multiple different reasons. If someone you know, like a relative, has been well looked after by the NHS, you can clap and you can support your NHS, regardless of what you think politically.
I think you should. Yeah, I do think you should. I think the argument is that I think the reason people say this is just that they're saying clapping to support your NHS.
Yeah.
A better way of supporting your NHS is voting for a party that will fund them.
Yeah,
and I understand
agreed.
that. But just because there are better ways than other ways doesn't mean you can't also do what you're doing.
And the thing is,
Like,
I don't know if this is an unpopular opinion, might be a popular opinion. The thing is with, because obviously it's very much a two-horse race. It's Conservative and Labour in our country. Like in America, it's Republican and Democrat and all that. So a lot of reasons people vote Tory. The best way to not vote Labour is to vote Tory. The best way to not vote Tory is to vote Labour. So if you're someone who was drastically and has drastically felt the impact of the economic ruin that the previous Labour cabinet left us in, and you don't like that, you could vote Tory by default to not vote Labour.
In the same way that some people vote Labour.
It doesn't mean you hate hospitals. So who cares what you vote for? Just genuinely
exercise
like
your democratic rights.
Yeah, vote if you want. Don't vote if you want.
No, your democratic right is to vote.
You don't have to vote if you want.
Yeah, I know.
Like that's.
But if you don't vote, you have no right to complain about anything.
Yes, you do.
No, you don't.
Yes, you
because
do.
You chose not to have your say.
You don't have to.
If you have your
say.
say.
I get your point, but you can complain if you want. If you think it's being run poorly, you can still complain whether you voted or not.
No, but you don't have. You lose your right to complain if something's unpopular opinion.
This is a popular opinion. What you're saying?
Popular opinion. Then you lose your right to complain about how something is done if you had the opportunity to change it and didn't do anything. And if your vote didn't change it, you can complain because that's not what you voted for.
Yes.
And if your vote got through and the person got through, you can complain that the person for whom you voted is not doing what they said they would.
Yeah, but you could also say, I didn't vote. I don't like the way they're running it.
But at the same time, your lack of voting kind of it undermines.
Yeah. I'm not going to take it personally. I'm not going to, okay. If say I haven't voted, the last time I voted every time we've been able to vote, apart from the last time because of it was far away. So. But if I think, if I have an opinion on how it's being run, I'll still say it. But I'm not going to be butthurt at the fact, and I'm not going to take it personal. I kind of don't care. Each party's going to do good things. Each party's going to do bad things.
Extent, it doesn't matter which party's in power. You will always...
There'll always be people
There'll always be
something
that they do wrong, and that'll be what we care about. No one cares about what the party does well.
Pretty much.
We care about what the party does wrong.
Yeah, there's the classic debate of like, if you vote Conservative or Tory, you're like rich, you're privileged, blah, blah, blah. Another unpopular opinion, I thought, speaking of privilege, I think sick pay is a privilege. I think people, they expect sick pay. They expect holiday pay.
I mean,
That's a privilege.
I've never actually been in a job that gives sick pay, actually.
Well,
all the jobs I've ever had don't do sick pay.
Yeah, well, see, exactly. People like furlough.
You don't get paid.
How incredible is it that people are being paid to not work? Unpopular opinion. I know you need funds, so it's great that it's happening.
Yeah.
If you're in the 1600s and you can't go to the farm, you're screwed.
You die, yeah.
You just have to accept it. People are so entitled.
Yeah.
For what? Because we've been privileged. So I think people like sick pay. I mean, that's luck. I don't get sick pay. If I'm deathly ill,
you die. Yeah.
That's it. But yeah, deathly ill. If I'm ill, I don't work. I don't get paid. Like, I think everyone's just entitled. That's an unpopular, increasingly popular opinion. I think a lot of people are saying it, but I think people are saying it because it's cool to say it. It's cool to be like, oh, our generation's the worst, which I don't really get. It's like self-deprecation on a grand scale.
On a grand scale.
Yeah. But anyway, that sort of spiraled from the Boris convention.
Few opinions there.
That wasn't well, see, that's the thing. You'll probably disagree. But yeah, I think just any sort of job security people have, like for me, don't get me wrong, privileged. I think it's a privilege. Yeah. I think the fact that you've been able to find a job somehow in this time, you've taken the opportunity. A lot of people will sit complaining, be like, oh, there's going to be no work after this. I'm going to make no money. But instead of going out and doing what you've done,
like
getting a job.
Governor Cuomo, the governor of New York, when someone said, we have a right to work. And he's like, your right to work does not outweigh everyone else's right to live.
Yeah.
And they say, we need work. And he says, well, go find some. And they're like, what do you mean? And he said, there are key worker positions available.
Yeah.
Like, my job, there's at least 160 people now employed on that site that didn't exist. The site didn't even exist 3 weeks ago. So, like,
Tom works at a COVID testing site.
Yeah. Accidentally took one of the biohazard bags home, but it's okay because it's one of the actually hazardous. If you want to see what it looks like, this is what the COVID test looks like in England.
Let's move it away from the mic, put it in front or something.
Yes, this is what they look like in England. You put them in the biohazard bag, but it's inside like another bag, and there's all these swabs.
So many bags.
It's very exciting. It's very interesting. It's a lot of plastic. It's quite sad. A lot of plastic, a lot of waste.
Yeah.
Like, I would love for my mask to be washable, but I have to have a new mask every day. I get like 4 pairs of gloves.
The way you said plastic just then got me thinking about other things, and then got me thinking a further vein of things.
What? People that say plastic, wrong.
Well, I don't know anyone that says plastic.
I know a couple of people. But, I go to a posh uni.
You were saying plastic. That got me thinking about people who try and reduce their plastic usage. Then it got me thinking about vegans, and it got me thinking about a picture I saw. And I was going to post a joke tweet, but for the reason it was an unpopular opinion, and I would only be posting it just to be funny. It would be funny. So there was a cow that. A couple of cows that escaped and were causing havoc in like a supermarket, and apparently it was like shot dead in the meat aisle. And there was a caption that said, "If this disgusts you or upsets you, you should be vegan."
Honestly,
and I was
salivating.
And I was thinking I was going to tweet it, like quote it, saying, "Looks a little underdone, but I'll give it a go."
Do you know what you said? Actually, our second cousin put that picture up on Facebook. That's how I saw it, and he commented like, I mean, yeah, if you skin it, I'll eat it for dinner.
That's the thing. Like,
honestly, I would.
And you're mad if you don't think if the food chain was another way around, that other animals would kill us and eat us.
Cats would kill you, and your cat would kill you and eat you if it thought that would be more beneficial than waiting and giving food every day.
It's true. It's true.
Dogs, not so much. Dogs actually seem to like people.
And don't get this twisted. It doesn't mean I think animals should be tortured. You know, all of the stuff like the whole, I don't know, is it like a celebration, like a month in China with the dogs? What do they call it? Like it's like a celebration, a market or something.
It's just the dog market, I think.
Yeah, I don't agree with that. And I know there are pictures of people saying there's like a list of animals. There's like pig, cow, and then there's a line. There's animals you would eat versus wouldn't.
Yeah.
If I was starving, I'd eat any animal, but we're not starving, so it's fine. So it's. Maybe that's another unpopular opinion, but if you want to eat meat, eat meat.
If you don't.
A lot of people say this is a small minded way of thinking about it, but me being a vegetarian, this is how much it changes the amount of animals that are killed in the world.
0.
I like meat. Meat is good for you. I'm going to eat it.
We have canines for a reason.
Yeah, but
that's my argument.
But if you want to be vegan, go for it. That's great. You
More
are
meat for me.
You're great.
Sorry, that's not what I was supposed to say.
No, but that's another unpopular opinion I saw in the article that I completely agree with. Everyone is so offended by everything.
But I don't care if people get offended, right?
Why can't we joke about it?
There's Tim Minchin. I mean, he's quite offensive actually as a person. But he was like, he says something, and he was like, "Oh, you're offended.
Cool.
Then be offended." Like, your offense has 0 impact on me.
Yeah.
I could not care less if I say something that I think is true and I believe in and I agree with, and that offends you. I don't really care. I'll be honest.
Yeah, it's just difficult because I've obviously been online, being an internet personality. Everyone likes to hate or whatever. So me saying something that's completely valid, like the wanting to eat meat thing or whatever, that could be like criticized. Or people when you make a joke, I hate how offended people get by jokes. I don't think anything is too serious to joke about if it's a joke in good context.
Yes,
like it's a joke. Who cares?
I think also you can't help what makes you laugh. I was talking about this with Grandma because she laughs at some very inappropriate things, and she says, "I can't help it. I thought it was funny." And she remembers her older sister who was a bit prudish. I mean, she's dead now, but so sorry, Auntie Joy.
She did live a good life to
she was like 95, 94.
Yeah.
And she, when Grandma made an inappropriate joke, she was like, "Oh, Janet, I can't believe you laughed at that. I thought it was really inappropriate."
Yeah.
And then she, like a couple of months later, she was like, "Oh, Janet, I found this wonderful program. It was Mrs. Brown's Boys, right?"
Yeah.
And that's actually, and Grandma was like, but there's such shocking humour in that. Like, Joy, I'm shocked at you. And she was just like, oh, you can't find what makes you funny. And it's like, as Grandma said, like, in school, when you'd laugh, and teacher would be like, stop laughing, you'd be like, oh, he made me laugh. And she's like, no one can make you laugh. Rubbish! Unpopular opinion. Right, my opinion. Yes, people can make you laugh. Oh, you cannot help it. If you are like sat there, like in class, and someone does something really funny, and every time you make eye contact, it's like, hey, do you know what's funny in 24, 25?
Yeah,
and you just laugh.
Remember that moment you're in a quiet classroom, you catch eyes with someone, and it's like,
and you both just go,
and then you see the teacher coming, and it makes you go,
and you just sort of hold it in, and you're like,
oh, and then.
And then the teacher always, and I feel bad because then the teachers like get all like, oh my gosh, they're laughing at me, like is my button undone or something like that. And people get all, and honestly,
or if a teacher gets really angry and starts shouting at the class, and then you're like, and you just know you have to bury your head because you can't, you it's bad to laugh. But you just can't. You actually can't help
Honestly,
it. And then when you think about not laughing, it's
when
funny.
I see like a kid fall over and I start laughing and I feel bad, especially if they start crying. I then feel really bad because I laughed. But kids cry at everything and they're fine like 2 minutes later.
Yeah, exactly.
Like it's like context. It's funny when a kid falls over because they're bouncy and they don't really get hurt.
I think it's funny when anyone falls over.
No, when someone like really like someone on crutches like slips and falls over and breaks their arm.
That's
not as funny to me because actually that's quite like they're vulnerable.
It depends how they fall.
I think it depends on how you fall and also how vulnerable someone is. I think the more vulnerable someone is, the less funny it is. So when someone, like when you pelt the cricket ball and it hits me in the face and I just fall over, that's really funny because I'm going to be up and fine like in a couple of minutes. But if that happened to like an old lady, I'd feel really bad.
I disagree to the point. As soon as the old lady makes a noise, it's over.
Like you remember that that Vine with the little girl with the dog? It was like, go. There's just face.
She goes,
like.
She sounded like a Simpson when she did that.
That's funny because
if an old lady falls, as soon as she goes, oh, it's funny.
That's an unpopular opinion, I think.
Falling, I don't know. Falling is funny. Maybe people won't admit it. But we could go for it. Let's get to your list, and then we'll keep going. But I think a lot of things are funny.
I think the first thing on my list you're going to disagree with, and I know you are.
Okay.
Cold cheese is gross, or like even just a lump of cheese is gross. I cannot deal with cheese unless it is melted and with other things.
Yeah,
cheese by itself is disgusting.
Do you think that's
just
unpopular?
Moldy, solid milk.
Where do you think the general consensus is on that?
I think the problem is because I live with you and I live with Susie and you both eat cheese by the block. Like I've
cheese is
and
great.
that's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting.
It has to be the right cheese. Like I'm not a cheese aficionado in the sense that I like tons.
You ain't having gorgonzola.
No, I don't. I basically only have cheddar. But let me tell you, when I say I have cheddar, I mean a lot of cheddar. Like
you'll sometimes eat enough cheese that you sweat.
Oh yeah, it's called the cheese sweat, and it's a very specific type of sweat because it only happens here. That's how I know it's cheese sweat. Once I've had a bit much, it's like, oh, my face here feels a bit sticky.
Okay, so unpopular one number 2.
Yep.
It's more unpopular because I'm English. So you know what I'm gonna say because you agree with it.
Tea sucks.
I hate tea.
Yes,
that
was yes.
Absolutely despise tea.
I don't really get it. It's just dirty water, right?
Honestly, it is.
Isn't it technically just dirty water? Tea's like a plant, right?
Tea, it's just leaves. Yeah, it's just leaves that get.
There's no wonder it tastes like dirt. I know people. Everything people say.
Tea, right?
Oh, it depends on how you make it. You haven't had my tea.
No. Like it's like
your tea's not special.
If I don't like sausage rolls, I don't like sausage rolls, regardless of what sausage you use. Although I love them. But what I will say,
meat. So.
It's like mint tea or like strawberry tea. Even when I've had like strawberry tea, I like strawberries. I like strawberry juice. I like strawberry flavor. Strawberry tea doesn't taste like strawberry. It smells like strawberry. Still tastes like tea.
Yeah.
Like it's still not nice.
Tell you what, strawberry cowpole does taste alright.
Yeah.
Tastes alright.
I remember being on the bus, right, and this is how long ago it was. The last time I was on the bus, this woman was arguing with her kid. And her kid, there's just sort of this 8-year-old kid. No, she was younger than that. She was definitely younger than age. She was more like 5. And she just goes, and her mum goes, for the last time, you're not having any more cowpole. She goes, but I'm sick. And she went, I can tell there isn't a real cough and a fake cough, Abigail. And it was just so, and his mum was, it was just so funny. All the people on the bus were just like trying to wet themselves. This kid was like, trying to get some cowpole.
There was one bus ride for the entirety of the bus ride. This girl was just sat there screaming, I can't see. She was too short to see out the window. And it was like, we understand you can't see. You've said it. Stand up. Stand up and look out the window.
Okay, so next unpopular opinion. I think in a role, the best actor should be cast. Okay, now let me just explain this, right?
Oh, that spurred another one in my head. Yep.
So like, people tore into Eddie Redmayne when he got cast as the Danish girl, like in the Danish Girl, because he wasn't a trans actor. And I think he did phenomenally. I think it was brilliant.
Yeah.
People, I mean, there is one where Robert Downey Jr. was in a film and they blackfaced him and he played a black guy, and he still defends that role choice because he was like, he says he was the best person for the role. Kind of thing.
I'd still agree with that.
Yeah, and I would say, you know, you don't. Yeah, and like you watch like pantomimes, you get men playing. Usually, it's a woman playing the male lead and a man playing the dame. You know, and I think it shouldn't be about like. And I saw this program where a black woman played Queen Victoria.
Mm-hmm.
And she was great, like and I don't think it should be about anything specific other than who's best for the job. So some people like only a trans person can play a trans person, only a gay person can play a gay person. I don't agree with that.
Yeah.
Gay people play straight characters all the time, so I don't see why straight actors can't play gay characters.
Yeah.
What I don't like is when people commend straight actors for playing gay characters, being, oh, you're so brave. No, that's your job. You're an actor.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you're so brave. Well, what about like James McAvoy when he played like 20 different people in one film and was like that's quite brave.
Yeah.
But Heath Ledger playing the Joker, that was brave. You know, there are some, I think, you know, in the same way, it's not that brave to play a gay person because actually kind of implying that it's not nice. Or like it's not good. Like actually, I feel
but
much
the point
more,
you're trying to convey, like a gay positive thing, is actually underlying. It's like a negative sort of.
I'm actually much more interested in the actors who play like psychopaths or like really difficult characters to play or characters that are really complicated. That for me I think is much more brave. And so my thing is that you should always cast the best actor, whether or not they're the most popular or the most famous, whether or not they are I don't care if actually you think they're maybe a little bit old for the role, if they're better for the role. It's like, I was thinking about this. I was watching a video about the Spider-Man movies yesterday because I love Spider-Man, but I always thought, Tobey Maguire is just a bit too old. But actually I was thinking about this and they pointed out Andrew Garfield in the first Amazing Spider-Man is actually older than Tobey Maguire was in the first.
Yeah, he just sort of looked.
He just looks younger.
Yeah.
And actually, it was only until Tom Holland came around that they actually cast someone who was under 30 to play Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And Spider-Man's meant to be like 16. I mean, Tom Holland's 19, so that's pretty close. But like,
yeah,
I think you should cast the best person in the role.
Yeah,
even if that...
I think kind of similar to that. I get the whole representation argument in the media, so I'm cool with that. You know, represent like how life is, so don't omit certain groups, blah blah blah. But in terms of, say, a workplace, I think you and I have touched on this before, a regular workplace, I don't think companies should have a quota to fill. I don't think they should have a disabled, a gay person. If 10,000 like people apply and there are 8,000 jobs, 2,000 of people that apply are black, and they hire 8,000 white people, if they are the best 8,000 for the job,
it's unlikely.
You should, it's unlikely, but if they are, like, just for theory's sake, they shouldn't hire any black people just because they're black. Like,
you shouldn't, in the same way you shouldn't hire someone just because they're white, and you shouldn't hire someone just because they're a man or a woman. You should hire, it's like the actor, you should hire the best person for the job.
Yeah. I don't know if that's probably, I don't know if that's an unpopular opinion or not. Everyone's so offended these days.
I think it's because like a lot of people like will assume if they're part of minority, the reason they didn't get something is because of that.
That's just comes back to entitlement
rather
again,
than accepting that actually sometimes it may be because of that, and I'm not gonna lie, sometimes it is.
Yeah.
But other times it's not. Other times it is just actually that person is better at the job.
And you're not special.
Yeah. no one is special.
Everyone, I mean, like, we're all unique, but a lot of people do grow up thinking that they're the best and they're special. Yeah, so go and get it. You know.
Okay.
I know. All right, next one.
The next one I've kind of already touched upon in discussing food
I've
combinations.
just read it.
Yeah, chicken nuggets and ice cream. Don't diss. I think we'll just skip that one.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's. I don't know if that's just an opinion. Yeah, I think you're ahead of the curve.
Okay, so duvet days / pajama days, awful. Yeah. Honestly, need to have a shower. Need to get up and do something. Get bored. Get sweaty.
I think the pendulum is shifting. Given the state we're in, I think people are starting to get sick of that.
But I've always found that.
I've never had a duvet day in my life.
The only like when I'm sick, I hate it. Partly because I'm sick, but also just because I'm in bed. I get so bored.
Well, see, I've never been sick in bed all day.
Lucky you.
You've had more serious illness than me.
So so I think, I hate those things. The only time I could maybe do it is if I have like another half. Like, so if I've got a boyfriend with me. Yeah. But even then, I'm like, nah, you're gross. Shower now. And I want to shower.
And then
we'll make the bed and we'll sit on the bed and we'll watch some Netflix or something. Like I can't be doing
the latest
No.
I've ever got up out of bed was midday, and that was the day after we got back from America. So my body clock said 6 a.m.
Do you know what? I knew you were going to say that because that was just what I was thinking.
Yeah,
As soon as you said
that's
that.
literally like I can't think of anything more long than staying in bed all day, because you realize once you've done that, you have to stay in bed all night. You have to sleep.
It's terrible.
That sucks.
Imagine 36 hours in bed.
Get away from the bed.
Okay, so my last one I think is the most controversial.
Okay.
So I saved it to last because it was the first thing I thought of. I think if you're in a relationship and someone cheats on you, you should give them a second chance.
Okay.
I'm all for second chances.
Right.
I don't think that's the same as being walked over. I don't think it's the same as being
Well, that's like
taken advantage of.
continuously being walked over.
Yeah, but I also don't think if you have something great going and someone has, for lack of a better phrase, one moment of weakness, or they were drunk, or like they were really upset, or like, things happen underlying. I know people say that, people who cheat once are going to cheat again, but also people who cheat once probably thought about it many times before they did it.
Yeah.
But
I know that from experience.
I think you need
I haven't cheated, other way around.
Yeah. I do think it's important to talk about it, see what's going on. And it is hard to rebuild trust. I get it.
Yeah.
Been there, Just
You
like
definitely can rebuild trust.
And you can rebuild
sure.
trust. And I think sometimes you can come back stronger because you actually end up addressing the issues. But I don't think a relationship, particularly if it's either if it's in its infancy and actually it could go somewhere really lovely and they haven't quite worked out how serious it was, or actually it's been ages and something happens. Actually, I don't think it's worth throwing away everything you had and a potential future just for, in inverted commas, like I said, one mistake.
Yeah.
So I'm all for second chances in every sense. I mean, obviously, if my boyfriend murdered you, that would be a real tough sell. That would be a real tough sell.
Okay, I just want to get this on camera. I just want to say, if that happens, I'd like to think that's it.
I'm all for forgiveness in the second chance.
Really?
It really depends on the context.
Wow.
If it was an accident, they probably feel really bad
That's
and need
different.
some comfort.
That's different.
Manslaughter.
If they murder me.
Well, no, but again, like, are we talking self-defense? Are we talking they just premeditated? They were like, right, I want to be the only man in his life.
Yeah.
I'm going to murder his twin.
Yeah.
Then I think he probably needs a padded cell and some therapy.
So you're good. You got to cut it off there, yeah?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Why do you smile like that? Yeah.
Honestly, if I found the one, like, I'm gonna fight for that one, even if that one is a little bit damaged, because as people who know me know,
I'm dead.
I seem to be attracted to damaged people. Yeah, so you're dead. I need comfort.
Yeah. Perhaps not with
Not
my
in the
killer.
arms of your killer.
That would be great.
The
thing is, I think, it almost depends. Like, if you're in a relationship and someone goes out on a night out, for instance, and they kiss someone in a club and they're drunk or whatever, that doesn't feel like a big breach of trust.
It did.
No. It doesn't feel like a breach of trust compared to calculated over months pushing the boundaries. Like, there are levels. There's levels.
Feeling. That's like a quick betrayal and like.
It's like a moment of weakness.
It's
like, now we're in a fight.
Premeditated. Okay, actually, this is an underlying. I've been doing this for a while.
Because it's like you said, they've probably thought about it multiple times. And in my experience, when I got cheated on, the seeds were being sown for a couple of months, and then it sort of all, happened. And something like that doesn't just happen overnight. Because when you're in a good relationship, someone new, a one-time thing. It's not. For the most part, it's probably just not even appealing enough to do. No. It has to be a genuine like friendship or bond that's been built up that you then take things further. So I believe in forgiveness pretty much in everything. I think even given the most extreme in murder, I think over time forgiveness it is definitely possible 100%. And not forgiving, even if it's for selfish reasons, to forgive and allow yourself to move on.
Well, this is the thing. I mean, I would say, if I've done something wrong and I know it, I carry this burden.
Yeah.
When I say sorry to someone, I don't care anymore. Because once I've said sorry and I mean it, I have given my burden to that person.
Right, yeah. And then it's up to them to deal with it.
And it's up to them to deal with it. And if they choose to forgive me, that burden's gone and we are both okay. If they choose not to forgive me, they're the only ones suffering. Actually, they're holding a grudge against me. I'm kind of over it. And the same way,
killed your brother.
In the same way, if someone doesn't apologize to me for the wrong that they've done,
you'll get over
I can get over it, and I can be like, do you know what? They haven't apologized, but I can still forgive them and get rid of the burden on my end.
Yeah.
They can keep it. Like, there are people that have done me wrong and haven't apologized. I'm over it.
Yeah. It's weird, isn't it? This whole situation. But I do it's amazing how much time can heal in terms of trust.
Well,
I think you can learn to trust someone pretty much no matter. I mean, there are people in my life like you, Dad.
Okay, good. Now that Dad's on the list too, I know it's a good list. Okay.
So, like that I can trust you with absolutely anything, no questions asked. Yeah. Like the whole trustful thing. Well, that's the thing. If it gets into the territory of your ability to do something, like if I now said, I'm going to jump off a building, I trust you to catch me. I trust you to maybe attempt, maybe, but that's a dumb thing to trust you with. But if it's something that's within your physical capabilities, for example.
Like I say, if you throw a ball at me and trust me to catch it, that's like 50-50.
Yeah.
But if you give me a book and trust me to read it, that's like right up there.
Like, you know, if
I say trustful.
say if it was like, you know, something that was, so if it was, say, I have to get to America in a minute to save your life, you can't trust me to do that.
Sorry.
But if it was something like you have to run 50 miles straight to save my life, or like in a day,
I'd probably die.
Yeah, like
in the attempt.
I would. You know, you could trust me to do that, and I could trust you to try.
I trust you to do it. You trust me to try.
So yeah, I think but that's the one thing I know I don't know if we're privileged. I know we are privileged / lucky, or if just other people are unlucky, but just have such a strong family unit. Because I know a lot of people don't.
Yeah.
But to have sort of people that you can rely on and count on so heavily, it's pretty cool.
I know that if I was in a big enough financial difficulty, I could come to any one of you guys, and I'm sure between you could probably buy me a house. No, I doubt that.
I mean, we could.
Between you could probably buy me a car.
Yeah, I could buy you a car. Some cars cost like $100
quid. But, you know, if I suddenly came to you or Mum or Dad and I was like, I'm about to get evicted.
Well, I was thinking like you're. That's a lot of people. They ask, say, their parents for money all the time. So then it's like
I never ask.
But we've never asked each other for money.
No.
Occasionally
I'm like,
I've not asked Mum and Dad for money. I think you've been in more financial difficulty.
Yeah. I've asked for a loan, but I have since paid that back.
Yeah.
So I'm at the point. Yeah. Every time I've ever asked for money, it's been on a loan basis that I've paid back.
We're like on the unwritten agreement of, if you ask for money, it's important. Yeah. Well, like a few of the people I've lent money to, like he probably won't even watch this, but like Max, he really needed to pay off his car insurance. So I just gave him 1,500 quid then and there. I think it was like 3 years ago, to pay his car insurance. He's paid off 500 since, and I trust that he'll pay it back eventually. Zach with his PC, he's paid me off 300 quid of the 1,500, and he's quite young. So although it's been a few years, I fully trust that in future he will be able to pay me back, because I do see the good in people, and that is maybe slightly a flaw. Yeah,
I think it's a lovely flaw to have, though.
Yeah, I'm just always under the assumption that if my bank balance never reaches zero, then any money I spend or give away, I didn't need. Yeah. Unless I go absolutely broke, then I didn't give too much or spend too much, because I still have, because it's not like the money that I do have is doing stuff in a bank account. It's just there.
It's just there as a backup, and you don't necessarily.
So as long as I never hit zero, I could give away £10,000. If I never hit zero, then I'll get it back. Like, maybe.
We should talk after this video.
But yeah, so we haven't even started on the ones on my phone. There's an article that just says the 90 most unpopular opinions people are sharing on the internet. I'm just going to go through it. First of all, it's similar to the food combination one. There's something about ketchup in here. I don't like ketchup.
I hate ketchup,
I've seen this go around on the internet a few times. Do you think chocolate's best kept in the fridge or in the cupboard? There's the argument of people saying if it was meant to be in the fridge, it would be in the fridge in the supermarket.
Now, I think it depends on what kind of experience you're going for, right?
Okay.
Because
just looking at others
like,
while you...
because room temperature can vary between like 10 degrees to like 30 degrees.
Yeah, it can be melted or like
it could be like squidgy and gross, or it could actually be pretty good. So like chocolate in the fridge, I quite like the satisfying snap.
Yeah.
But sometimes I find it quite hard on my teeth and like the cold on my gums. So I quite like a bit of cold chocolate every now and then, but I also like a bit of room temperature chocolate. What I don't like is tepid chocolate. I don't like chocolate that's on the turn of melting. Either it's totally melted or it's totally solid. I'm not about that middle ground.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Maybe this might be an unpopular opinion. This just spurred it. If you have...
Oh, wait, can I just add to the chocolate one then?
Yeah, go for it.
I think the thicker the block, the kind of almost warmer I want it to be. So like if it's quite
if it's
thin,
a Yorkie,
so like a Yorkie you don't want in the fridge because it'll break your tooth.
Yeah.
Whereas something like a Freddo Frog,
those little thin dairy milk
thin
bars
ones that they used to do. There's little, I don't know if they still exist. Those thin ones that were like 10p, and they used to be like a little picture.
That can be in the fridge.
That in the fridge, brilliant because they're so thin. It's like Easter eggs in the fridge. Don't do it because they take up so much room. But Easter eggs in the fridge would be really great.
So bring it with a hammer when you take it out.
But something like. Even a chocolate orange would be good because the segments are quite thin.
Whereas stuff like double decker, where there's a
like
lot going on.
Like a Mars bar or double decker, you don't want that in the fridge because you'd have to saw it in half to eat it.
Yeah. Okay. So, I've forgotten what I was gonna say.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. So if someone has a preferred pronoun, they, them, okay, cool. That's fine. And if I don't know you and I've just met you and I make a mistake, please do inform me. But if I don't know you and would therefore have no way of knowing your pronoun, and you're a male, for instance, you appear as a male, and I call you sir, and you identify as a woman, correct me, but don't get offended.
Yeah, no.
What the heck am I supposed to do?
I do agree, and I think the other thing is if I am aware, and I slip up, that will just happen sometimes. Not necessarily, but sometimes it just does.
If you're in the situation you've known someone as a girl for 20 years and then they become a man and you sometimes call them, or to other people you say her and then you correct yourself, whatever. Yeah.
I think like I was talking to someone at work actually the other day and they said that they were talking to another colleague and they were talking about like their wife and their kids, and they said it took them a while. It wasn't until they added them on Instagram. And they were scrolling through Instagram and they saw something and they went right back to the beginning of this person's Instagram and realized that this man with kids and a wife was a girl that she went to school with.
Right.
Who had transitioned and she had no idea because he never mentioned it, obviously. And you don't expect this kind of bearded bloke with a wife and kids to be someone you went to school with as a woman.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah, so I think so there are some people where like you just kind of go, oh yeah, and there's some people you're not sure. And to be honest, I find my difficulties if I'm not sure, I don't know whether it's polite to ask.
Yeah,
because on the one hand, I'm like, if it was me, I would want to be asked rather than assumed.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I would, if a lot of people, particularly if they're transitioning, might feel quite insecure about their status. Like a lot of men transitioning into women, for example, often feel like they look very masculine. And again, a lot of women transitioning into men feel they look quite feminine.
Yeah.
They like the idea in inverted commas of being able to pass. So it's I still don't know where I stand on the can I ask or do I just if in doubt use they and them until someone
I think that shouldn't be an issue. I think the society should be comfortable enough to ask, but we're not.
I like to think society is comfortable enough for people to ask. I would love to be able to just say, what you're. I mean, actually, we've got to the point that in committee meetings, like at the university, if you're like the SU and stuff, that when people sign off their emails, they put their pronouns, and admittedly, sometimes it is really annoying when you go to a meeting with 20 people, and they all sit there and you go, oh hi, my name's Tom, he, him, and you go round, and you go round,
he, him, ho, hum.
And everyone, obviously. Quite often, most people there, I think last time 19 of the 20 were cisgender.
So I don't even know what that means.
That just means identify with the gender with which you were born. So born a male, identify as a male. So you are cisgender.
Majority.
Yeah, the majority. And so it was almost like, well,
dare I say normal?
No,
I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm joking.
Offended. And so I think
dislike.
And to an extent, I was a bit like.
What's the point?
What's the point? You just.
We all know Gary is transitioning. We all know that. Now, can we stop saying our own cisgendered pronouns, please?
But at the same time, maybe it's that like a privilege thing because I'm like I never have to.
Worry about it.
No one. People only ever mistake me as a woman on the phone, and I'm always like,
I have another question. Or I'd like to pitch you an idea. It's similar to like a religious education essay style argument.
Okay. I was so good at that.
if a man and a woman, this is not gender, this is just the cisgendered men and women, if they have coitus, so to speak, and they use protection on the basis that neither of them want to be a parent, right? The protection fails. the woman can obviously, it's accepted, the woman can choose or not to have an abortion, right? If the man wants to be a dad all of a sudden, but the woman wants to abort it, gone. If the woman wants to be a parent and the dad doesn't, he isn't really allowed to leave and not be a dad. But at the same time, he didn't want to be a dad. So if the woman wants to keep the child, shouldn't she accept that she's going to be a single parent? And he shouldn't be hated for not wanting to be a dad on the basis they took precautions.
I believe
and he doesn't want to be a dad.
I believe you shouldn't be hated.
Right.
But I believe that every time you have a heteronormative sexual act, you are risking pregnancy.
Yeah.
And you go into that aware of that.
Yeah. A lot of people don't.
Well, you should.
But
taking precautions is fine, but if you go into you go into that knowing that is a possibility, if you can't handle that is a possibility, you maybe should rethink what you're doing or be even more careful. Use a condom and a pill. And I do think it's personally, unpopular opinion, I am against abortion in total. However, I would never make it illegal because people are going to have abortions whether it's legal or not. And if people are going to have them, I want them to be safe. And if one of my friends said to me, I want an abortion, I would support them all the way, no matter what they wanted.
Yeah.
Like, absolutely. It's a traumatic experience. It's quite a difficult decision to make. And I can never really speak for it because I will never be pregnant. So I can't really speak for that. But what I would say is that I think abortion's really sad.
Yeah.
And I would prefer, my ideal scenario is that baby would be born. Sometimes people change their mind after the baby's born, but it would go for adoption, or it would go to the dad, or whatever.
Yeah.
But I accept, your body, your choice.
Yeah.
But at the same time, your body is yours. The fetus, not yours. Actually, yours and the dad's, and I think equally. And so I do think, as much as the dad doesn't carry it for 9 months.
Yeah.
I do think fathers deserve an equal say.
Yeah, not to say you should abort that if you don't want to, but also have the freedom, if they don't want to be a dad, to not.
I think
they should. Like, I do think you should be responsible enough to look after,
if you want
to
nothing
help
to
the
do
child.
with your kid, if you want nothing to do with your kid and you don't want to be a dad, you shouldn't have become one in the first place. If as you said, that was a total not planned.
Yeah.
You were using protection, etc. The mum wants to be a mum. He doesn't want to be a dad. I still think financially he should contribute, but if he does not want to be a dad, I would say he can financially contribute less, but my condition is he doesn't see the kid.
Then he shouldn't. If he doesn't see the kid, I don't think he should contribute at all.
I think if he doesn't see
I think he should have the opportunity to completely cut himself off from it if he doesn't want to be a dad. And it's only the woman that wants to keep the child. But then again, I know it's tough because then
what if the kid wants their dad and wants to meet their dad? How do you tell a kid your dad hates you and doesn't ever?
No, it's not about hating you. You would just tell the kid
and doesn't want.
No, your dad doesn't know you. He doesn't like.
Yeah,
I know.
The kid goes, I want to know my dad.
Yeah. If the dad doesn't want to, what are you going to do?
But I think even if the dad doesn't want to,
he goes and lives in Nepal.
I still think he has a parental responsibility. If you have a child who wants to know their father, you have the parental responsibility. You have a kid. You've had a kid.
Yeah, I'm just playing devil's advocate. If I ever have a kid, for one, I really want a kid, so I will be the best dad in the world. I just want to put that out there because this comes across as me being like a douchebag. But
I think if you have a kid, you should be responsible for them, whether you're the male, the female. There is the double standard of woman wants an abortion. You go, girl. Pro-choice, pro-body. A man wants a woman to get an abortion. How dare you? Well, yeah, because then people say you're telling a woman how to use her body.
Yeah.
But again, like I said, I do think people focus too much on the woman's body in a pregnancy, even though obviously that's very important. It's like the incubator, and not enough on the actual baby.
Right.
The baby is genetically half the woman's and half the man's.
Yeah.
Therefore, it should be a joint decision, regardless of how it's incubated.
Yeah, this is obviously coming from a perspective of two people who know they'll never have to be pregnant.
That's true. And someone who's never going to get someone pregnant.
You never know.
I think I know.
You never know. You never know. You never know. Would you donate your sort of fluids for money?
Why would you say that? Why would you not just?
Why not?
Be?
Would you like give yourself up to?
Would I be
create?
A donor?
Yeah.
I think I wouldn't be an anonymous donor.
No.
I think it very much depends on who was asking.
So if like Lottie, for instance, came to you and said, I need your sperm.
Our babies would be screwed. I'm sorry. Our babies would be so smart. Our babies would be so smart.
Okay.
And I think her parents would be over the moon.
Doesn't sound screwed to me. Sounds great.
But I think Lottie won't need my sperm, as it were. I think Lottie doesn't want to have a mini me inside her.
Isn't it like crazy that babies are like half you? So when I have a kid, it's going to be half me.
That's horrible.
How cool is that?
Yeah, I think we should end it there, actually.
Anyway, yeah, 45 minutes. I mean, this is the thing. We could probably do another whole episode on this sort of topic, but I feel like this went really well. Probably touched a few nerves. Thing is, though, because this is like essentially a smaller platform compared to what like my main job is and I upload on, and I like to think the people that watch these are slightly older, a bit more mature than my main audience, which I understand. If you are my main audience, if you're 12 years old, what's going on? But I just do think also some of the people that watch these are from
Unpopular Opinions. School was great.
Back in the same. I agree. I 100% agree. I said that during school. I said that after school, and I will continue to say it for the rest of my life. But I think a lot of people were a younger age and watched this channel, but that was like 6 years ago. So now they're older, hence the passing of time and all that. But yeah, I enjoyed this one. I enjoyed it. It's good, and it's only 9:15 in the morning.
Yeah, I'm gonna go start my day.
Go for a hike.
I'm gonna go for a hike.
And I'm going to record some videos. I just figured because Tom is now on a work routine. The next week's podcast might be sort of tough unless we do it like this, where we record in the morning.
I'll be working.
Tom
the next 10 days straight.
After today, the next 10 days in a row, which means including our next podcast recording date from basically just afternoon. As soon as the morning's over, that's it. The only reason we've been able to record this in the morning because I haven't gone for my normal run, because normally I'm running right now. But, we're recording.
For you.
Leave a like. Let us know your unpopular opinions down in the comments and what you thought of this and everything. Honestly, it feels like we've left so much untouched, even about the topics we spoke about. We could have spoke about for longer. But this has already been the longest podcast. It's been an enjoyable one. And we'll see you. I don't know if I'll do a solo one soon. It depends on how work goes. And hopefully we'll be back next Wednesday. Work permitting. Filming permitting. Anything else?
We'll see you in the next podcast. Very soon.
Very soon.